Before we get started, I would like to thank everyone for helping to make this season possible. We went through a lot of trying times, but we made it through. On behalf of the Steelers organization, I would like to thank the parents, the coaching staff, the team moms, the volunteers, and most importantly, the players, because their perseverance and encouragement helped everybody to push through and make it through the season. Without further ado, let's start the virtual presentation.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Coach James Coakley of the Westside Steelers 2020 flag team. I'd like to welcome y'all to this inaugural event. This is the first virtual banquet. Due to COVID, we had to do some ad-libbing, and thanks to our former president, Dion, came up with this amazing idea in order for us to honor our kids this year. And I'd just like to thank everyone. I would like to thank our former president, Dion, our current president, Ron Coleman, our VP, Latrice Lattimore, AD Coach Chuck, and the whole Steelers board and the staff of the Westside Steelers for allowing me the opportunity to come back and reinsert myself as the 2020 flag team's football coach. Okay, right now, I would just like to start off by saying thank you to all the parents. Thank you for all the young men who came out, signed up, and played for me. And I will give a special thank you to my coach. A lot of people call their coaches assistant coaches, but I don't do that. I look at him as my equal. And I would like to say a big thank you to Coach Mike Boykins. I can't say enough about that guy, man. He's amazing, and it's going to be an amazing 2021 season when he takes over as the head flag football coach. So parents, if you don't know, you know. Y'all got a good one coming up next season, and we're looking for bigger and better things and more accomplishments to come. First, I would like to start by honoring our first player. This young player, he came and he couldn't really do much, but his will and his determination was there. And I'm great and I'm honored to be able to have coached this young man. And that young man's name is Tyree Green. Second, I can't say enough about this young man. I was just talking to Dion, I was talking to Coach Coleman and a lot of the D-team coaches, Coach Ty. And I said, this young man is the future of the league. And I haven't tagged any player with that tag right there since we first started flag back in 2015 with two players, and that was Jakari Anderson and Carl Trammell. And I would like to give that honor to Anthony Williams Jr. We call him Junior. Our next player up, this player is a real big inspiration to myself, Coach Mike, and a lot of players on the team. A lot of coaches probably wouldn't have took the time to allow this young man to play. But when I say this young man was an inspiration to every player. He showed up to practice every day. He came to the games every day. And not only did he inspire our team, he inspired the other teams and the other coaches. And everybody took to this young man. He's very special to me. He has a special place in my heart forever. And he'll forever be a Westside Steelers pillar. And that's Jaquan Walker Jr. And we call him Little JJ. Next player up is a very special young man. His name is Demetrius Barksdale. We are expecting big things from him on the D-team level. He's one of the best wide receivers and cornerbacks on the flag level, and I believe that is going to transcend to the D-team level. Next up is one of the best defensive players that I have ever seen play on that level, and this is saying a lot. I've seen a lot of players come through flag from multiple teams, but this young man, Jerry Jackson Jr., when I say lockdown corner, D-team, look out. This next young man, words can't describe. This is one of the purest running backs I have seen come through this flag program. When I say we had some great ones, when you can stand back to Vic, when you can stand back to, I don't know if I could put him in the level of a young man child, but when I say once this man gets the ball, it's flash, and that's Jacob Harris. I gotta say that's the second coming of my son. All right. Defensively, one of the toughest kids in our organization. My main man, Caden Holman. Defensive players is going to have to take a page out of his book. Small, but he's fearless. When I say all heart, that is Caden Holman. Wow. This player right here, it's kind of hard keeping his attention because he's all over the place. But one thing I can say about this young man, he has a very genuine heart. Anything that you ask him to do, he's going to do. Now, it's hard for him to keep up with his uniform, but once he put it on, I guarantee you, showtime. And that's my main man, Jacob Rogers. This young man, he came a little later in the season. It was a little rough for him getting back and forth to practice, but when he showed up, he worked hard, and that's all you can expect from a young man that's 6 years old. He followed directions well, and I look forward to him growing in the program. Mr. Donnell Bryant. This young man, he came in as a rookie, never picked up a football a day in his life. But when I say he catches on, there's nothing you can ask him to do, maybe once, twice, and he gets it, and he goes out and he executes. We're looking for big things from him going on that D-team level, and that's Dario Boyd. This young man, Noah Wainwright, excuse me for mispronouncing his name, but we call him Big Noah. When I say he's a defensive juggernaut, doesn't say much, all you do is point and he going. You say get him and he got him. I guarantee you he's going to be a special player. Again, that's Noah Wainwright. This young man, he's very special to me. He couldn't finish out the season, but we still felt it necessary for us to honor this young man. The times that he came to practice, he worked hard and he displayed a high level of leadership. It's unfortunate that he didn't finish the season, but we know for the 20 to 21 season to come up, he's going to be very special, and that's Mr. Bryant DeVault. This young man, he asks a lot of questions, and every question stems from wanting to get better, and you can't ask no more from a young man for that. Once you get a young man on your team, that every question he asks is not about how much can I play or when I'm going to get in the game. His questions are, what can I do to be better to help the team? And we could put him in anywhere. Even if he didn't know it, you wouldn't know that he didn't know it because he put forth maximum effort. And I'm proud of this young man, and I look forward for years to come to seeing this young man in the program, and that's Mr. Christian Jones. This young man, he wasn't able to finish out the season, but he's part of the Stiller family. I'd like to give a shout out to his father. You know what I'm saying? He's a C-team coach, and his brother is one of the special players on the C-team level. We call him Dior. We call him Mr. Showtime. But his little brother will be back on the flag team next year, and he's going to be special. Mr. Chase Joseph. We got another young man, funny story, and his father is also a coach on our C-team level. Shout out to my man, Coach Pac-Man. But this young man, every time he came to practice, he would sit in the car and he'd have his iPad. He would watch YouTube and he would be watching football games or either cartoons. And, you know, I have to walk all the way over to Coach Pac-Man's car and I had to get him out the car. But once he got out the car, he was really in tune and he really, really wanted to play the game. But, you know, he was kind of on the fence of wanting to play and wanting to be a little bit under his dad. But his dad gave me the cheat code. He had a cousin on the D team. So it was more so like competition. So anytime that I would have him out there, I would say, well, your cousin last week, you know, he ran the ball, he got 32 yards. What you gonna do? So if his cousin got 32 yards, he wanted to get 42. He's 5 years old. And when I say this young man got it, I'm tagging him right now as the new future. And that's my main man, Gary Hooks III. This young man here is special. His bloodline runs deep in the Westside Steelers program. His uncle is the head coach of the D team, Coach Ty, and he has pretty big shoes to fill because when we say one of the recipients of the Bill Johnson Award and the young man who walked through this program from age 7, aged out at age 14, went on and had an amazing high school career and right now is tearing up in the college ranks, I have the pleasure and the honor of coaching this young man with integrity and a high respect level. There's not enough words I can say about this young man, but he's going to be an amazing leader, and he's going to fill those shoes, and I believe he's going to exceed all expectations that his big cousin, Tyrone Light Jr., left behind, and that's my main man, Jermon Evans Jr. This young man, he's coming back to flag. When I say a speed demon, he touches the ball. If you blink, he's gone. I got to say, I have not had a flag team as special as this team since my first team. And anyone who has ever seen that first team, I told Dion, who was the president then, that that team will be the team to turn the corner and bring the program back to where it once was. And that team, I can say they're on the B team level now and they're doing just that. Now I'm going to tag this team right here, right now and say that these young men are special. And I believe they're going to exceed those expectations. And this young man is going to be a big part of it. And that's Mr. Jaquil Watson. What can I say about Jelon Porter? To be able to hand this young man a trophy is a great honor because when he comes to practice, he works hard, he's funny, he's never without a smile on his face. even when I'm yelling, even when I'm going crazy because they probably not listening, this young man is always smiling. He's keeping everybody upbeat. He is the glue that keeps this flag team together, and that's Mr. Jelon Porter. This young man, he started off on the D team. I didn't even know his real name for the first probably like 4 weeks of the practice. All I know is they said, hey, you got a player on the D team, but he's supposed to be on flag. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, who is he? And if he on D team and he making noise, let him stay there. But when he came down, when I say this was a big kid, and he is part of the 1-2 punch with Junior, when you see him coming, all I say is go the other way. This kid is going to be a dominant force on the D team. No one is going to want to see him coming. And that's my main man. And again, his nickname is Man, Teron Fuller. This young man, he came to the team late. His mother, she came up, was like, what do I got to do in order to get him on the team? I heard good things, and I want to get my son busy. At that point in time, we was up to like 30 kids, so I kind of had reservations, but if anybody in the organization know me, I do not turn any young man away because you can never foresee their future. They might not be good now, but one thing about our organization, we have patience and we believe in planting seeds. We're not one of those organizations that just go out and get players from different organizations and try to piece together a good team. What we do is we take our players and we build them up from the ground up, and our players come through, they start in this program and they finish through this program, and they have lifelong resources and a lifelong support system. And this young man is going to be a recipient of that, and it's going to be an honor to be able to be a part of his life as he grows within this program and within life. And that's Mr. Aaron Morgan. Wow, this young man here, when I say this young man is probably the most valuable to the team. He came here when he was 5. It was an honor to be able to coach alongside of his dad. When I talk about Carson Evans, Dent, no matter whatever you ask him to do, he do it. He don't complain. It was one time we played against the Ravens. When I say he set the tone, he set the tone. And I had gave the ball to him one time, and we were beating the Ravens so bad, we was trying to get all the other players in the game that, normally don't play a lot. And we kind of forgot about him. He did not complain. He just went on the defensive end. And when I say anything that came his way, he stopped it. And every time we gave him the ball, he scored. He had a heck of a game against the Rams. Him and Anthony Jr., they carried us. And when I say this young man is going to be a special part of this organization for years to come, Mr. Carson Evans Dent. This player here is probably, and I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't say it, but this has to be by far my favorite player since I started. Every year I'm blessed with a great, great, great quarterback. And when I say this young man is, I want to say he's B-team ready. He knows the game already as a 6-year-old. He's probably as big as this trophy in front of me, but his heart is probably as big as the Renaissance building downtown. When I say this young man knows the game, studies the game, he's at every game from flag, and I don't know how he do it because we have to clear the field after every game. And if you're not on that team or one of those two parents, you have to go. But somehow, some way, this young man is at every game from flag to A-team. When I say he knows every player, supports every player, supports every coach. At 6 years old, this young man's get it. And you need a young man like this in your program. And I could see him going on to do big things and coming right back to give back to this organization. He came over from the Wolverines, and when I say is they lost our game, and I'm blessed to have this young man, I'm blessed to be able to coach this young man, and this young man right here made me a better coach. He challenged me every day, and I thank him for that. And that's my main man, Caden Showtime Holiday. Our last player. It's funny because his bloodlines runs thick, and it was hard getting him to want to play. But next year will be his official first year, and we look forward to having him. His uncle is the head coach of the C team. His mother is a pillar within Detroit PAL and now the Greater Metro Youth Sports and Miss Kismet Hall. And we are looking forward to expecting big things and having big things to come from my main man, T3, Terrence Richards Jr. And that is our flag 2020 Westside Surge flag football team. Now on to our special awards. And before I get to that, I would like to give roses to the ones who helped me throughout the season. Without them, it would have been a real rough patch. So first and foremost, my first team mom, we call her Medea. She keep these young men in line, from flag to D to even keeping the adults in line, keeping the peace. And I would just like to honor her with this small token of appreciation. She's a star team mom, Miss Tanisha Henry. Thank you for all that you do. Next up, her bloodline runs thick. When she came out, it was more so, she was doing a lot of things in her community, but when she brought her son, Jamon Evans, which is Coach Ty's sister, anything that we needed, from whether it was juices, water, picking kids up, making sure kids had their uniforms together, standing on the sideline, keeping my head straight when I was out there going crazy. This is just a small token of appreciation, and I would like to thank you, Miss Crystal Lights Evans. Okay. This award right here is an award that is very well deserved, and it's a Westside Steelers 2020 Inspirational Award. And this goes to my young man, little JJ, Jaquan Walker Jr. As again, he showed up every day. He put forth maximum effort. Some will call him special needs, but to me, I didn't see that when I saw him. I just saw a young man who wanted to be a part of the team, and he became the inspiration of the team. He became the part of the team where the kids didn't want to play if he wasn't there. And right there is when I saw that he can inspire those young men, I was grateful that God blessed him and us, me and Coach Mike, with the opportunity to coach this young man. And that's my main man, Jaquan Walker Jr. Okay, on to these special awards. And first, I would like to start off with my most improved players. I have two most improved players, and that goes all the way back to the first kid that I named, Mr. Tyree Green, 2020 most improved player. When I say every day he came with the aspirations of wanting to get better, if I asked him to snap the ball, if I asked him to go out there and be a receiver, if I asked him to be a running back, he did it, and he got better each and every day. He's going to be a great addition to the D team level. Our next most improved player is my main man, Jacob Rogers. It was hard holding his attention, but once you got his attention, he stepped up. When I say when we played against the Buckeyes and we needed that touchdown, he went out and got it. When every time we needed a yard, he went out and got it. His practice and his work ethic was low at first, but once he discovered this is something that he really wanted to do besides soccer, he locked in and he tuned in. And plus, I would threaten him with telling Alante when he was on some bull mess. And I got to say, he stepped up, and he was a very important part of our three-headed monster at running back. And that's our other most improved player, Jacob Rogers. This young man right here is the best running back in flag football, in the 2020 flag football level, and that's Mr. Jacob Harris. When I say soon as he step on the field on the D team level next year, it's going to be electric. So I gave him the 2020 Barry Sanders Award as the best running back on the flag football level, Mr. Jacob Harris. This award sitting right here in front of me. This award goes to the player that there's nothing that he couldn't do. His attitude was off the charts. His will to win was off the charts. His ability to lead was off the charts. He could play quarterback, he could play receiver, he could play running back. You put him on the defensive side, he could be your corner, he could be the safety. They had a podcast, the GMYS Sports Talk, every Friday night. And when I say this young man was the whole topic of the beginning of that podcast, they talked about him for a good 8 to 10 minutes about how he turned the Baby Bowl out. You see him, they thought he was just a little chubby lineman. But when I say he is the most athletic young man that I have seen, this young man is going to be special. And I'm going to say it right here, right now. He is going to be the root that grows and expands everything to come from this organization from now on until he age out. And that's my main man, Anthony Williams Jr., the 2020 Flag Football Player of the Year. Now on to my special awards. And we're going to start with our Rookie of the Year, and that's Jamon Evans Jr. Like I said, his cousin, special. He came through this program, and when I say he lit it on fire and he continues to give back any chance that he gets, it's in his bloodline to be that great. And that's our Rookie of the Year, Jamon Evans Jr. Our best defensive player of the year, we spoke about him, we call him Man. Nobody wanted to see him coming. Once you see him, flag players just laid down. They already knew what it was. And that's my main man, the best defensive player of the year, Teron Fuller. We also have a co-defensive player of the year, one of the smallest players on the team with the biggest heart. Story, we played against the Buckeyes, and we went to score a touchdown. And I guess Jacob scored the touchdown, and one of the players tried to do something dirty. And when he was the one that stepped up, all I know is I looked over and I saw my main man, Caden. He had that young man on the ground. And I guarantee you, that young man never did a dirty play probably for the rest of the season. Our co-defensive player of the year, Caden Holman. Our best offensive player, we just awarded him the Barry Sanders Award for the best running back on the flag level. My main man, Jacob Harris. When I say look out, look out. Other offensive player, the co-offensive player of the year, my quarterback, Mr. Showtime. When I say he knows the game, he knows the game. He's going to pick the offense up. He's going to read defenses. He's going to get all the players together. He's a natural-born leader, and that's Caden Showtime Holiday. Most valuable player. Some people will say, what makes a player most valuable? When I say, when you show up to a game and that player is not there, you notice it. When you are in your huddle and that young man commands the attention and commands the respect of his fellow player, as a coach, you step back and you notice it. When you in the stands and you say, something looks different. And when that young man steps on the field, you notice it. That's what makes a player valuable. And it doesn't always have to do with physical attributes of how fast you are, how good you can catch, how many touchdowns you score, how many tackles or flags you pull. But the value comes in the dedication of knowing that you are all those things and you are the hardest worker out there. And it becomes contagious because those other players are going to look and say, hey, if he's working hard, I know we got to work hard, and he's one of the best players, if not the best player of the team. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in the organization of his level. That, to me, is what makes a player valuable. When you can ask him, what did you do in school today? And he can break down. He don't just say math, English. He breaks down what he did in each class. That's what makes a player valuable. And that young man is the 2020 most valuable player for the Westside Steelers, Carson Evans Dent. We also have a co-MVP who shares those same attributes. So as I spoke on Carson, I was also speaking on this young man. This young man, like I say, he is going to change this organization. He is going to be the root that grows. And as those branches expand, they're going to be pillars of him. And when I say we got to hold on to this young man, and he's going to take this organization to the next level. And I know that's a lot of pressure that I'm putting on a 6-year-old, soon to be 7-year-old. And when I say he wears it well, and he's heavy as the head who wears the crown. And believe me, he hasn't took that crown off since he played for Coach Tez in 2019. And our co-MVP, Mr. Anthony Williams Jr. And that is our Westside Steelers 2020 flag team. But there's one more thing that I have to announce that I am grateful to be a part of. And a lot of people didn't see it coming. A lot of people didn't expect it. But our 2020 flag team this year was undefeated in a division. Every team that stepped on that field with us, we beat. We did lose a game, and I want to say a congratulations and a big shout out to the West 7 Rams. But you got lucky, really lucky. But I would like to congratulate our 2020 Westside Steelers flag team. I would like to say thank you to our team moms. A very, very special thank you to the other coach, Coach Mike Boykins. And I would like to share in the accomplishment of our Westside Steelers 2020 flag team being the division champions. So congratulations to my flag team. Congratulations to the staff. Congratulations to the Westside Steelers program. I would like to thank you for having me. I would like to thank you for having Coach Mike. We had an amazing season. But last but not least, it wouldn't be right if I didn't close this out without acknowledging the most important piece to this whole level of football for the Westside Steelers. And that is the Flag Football Coach of the Year, Coach Mike Boykins. Without him, none of this was possible. It was days where I didn't know what I was going to do, how we were going to do it. But when I say he stepped up, there were times where I couldn't be there, where I had to work. And when I say he stepped up, he stepped up. He coached that whole Baby Bowl by himself because I had to work. And when I say he didn't complain, he didn't miss a beat. When I say he had those young men prepared, ready, he had them with the attitudes to go out there and dominate, and they did just that. Attitude reflects leadership. And when I say leadership from Coach Mike, it's off the charts. And I have never, ever, ever been happy to be able to step away from flag football. And when I say that the flag football for the Westside Steelers is in great hands, it doesn't get any better than Coach Mike Boykins, our Westside Steelers 2020 Flag Football Coach of the Year. We look forward to a great 2020-21 season, and I can't wait. See y'all soon.